Welcome back to everybody to Shoot the Shit. As always, your boy Lunasty joining me today. Very excited. I have the Dogg Pound Championship Wrestling pound for pound champion, Haas Holding. Haas, thank you for being here, brother.
Hey man, thanks for having me, man. I appreciate it. I do.
It's my pleasure. So, well, let's get right into it. My first question for you, and I've had sent out some questions, that people wanted to ask, and it's usually one of the ones we ask here at Walmart. We love wrestling on Shoot the Shit. Is what got you originally into pro wrestling?
Well, I think, if you look back, I was, as all of us as kids, I think we're all fans at a different era of our life. I mean, I'm 60 years old, so my era is going to go back into the 80s. I grew up in Fort Worth. Obviously, I was around world class. But, got to witness firsthand, obviously, the Von Erich Freebird
Yeah.
feud and actually in 88, I was that's when the first training school actually happened. And you can even YouTube it today and about the Chris Adams School, because he was one of the originals that actually kind of started opening the door about becoming a wrestler. And so, man, I saw it advertised, and man, I was a young guy then in 88 and, and ready to go. And until they told me the price, and I didn't have any money. I couldn't afford the $1,500 to train. But so, I left the sport of tournament that day, man. I was just devastated. I said, well, man, there goes my dream, and I had three babies, three kids, and, I couldn't even afford a $200 mortgage at the time. So it was a tough time in my life. So I turned my back on wrestling, independence, and that's when the doors really started opening and you started seeing independents pop up everywhere, and I chose a career that I'm still in on my work now in the environmental business. Back then, I turned my back on it until, 2005 when I started, when I moved to San Antonio in 95. And in 2005, I started looking around again at wrestling as wanting to be a promoter.
Yeah. So getting into you being a promoter, so I was going to move into what made the transition, but what led to you being a promoter? If we could start there.
Well, so in 2005, I guess I started making a few shows, local shows in San Antonio. Met a few of the guys. One of the guys I met back in is actually my opponent on the 26th. I was not happy where I remember wrestling was when I kind of left it to where it was down here. I call it trash bag. There was no production. The companies were very unprofessional, in the presentation of the guys. And so it really, and it had me, bummed out. And so I decided, I got to do something about it. So I didn't even think about wrestling at the time. I just said, I'm fortunate. I've made good business decisions in my life, and, I was secure there financially. So, me and my wife, we decided to, open up Southern Championship Wrestling in 2007. I had Dusty Wolf kind of help me get things going. That's why I didn't want to wrestle. I really put all my focus on building SCW, until my health just got so bad in 2013 and our house burnt down and I hit the burnout log. Didn't have a whole lot of help doing it. The company was very successful. I was just burnt out and my health got so bad. And so I just had to kind of get dormant and redo my house and all that stuff. And so, focus a little bit on my career and everything like that. So, but yeah, so that was really the goal then, is I saw that I think we had something to do. I think it was about 2010, started seeing different companies put a little money in, bring some lights, a good sound system, a little more professional. Hopefully we had something to push companies to do that. I feel like we did.
Yeah, and that's always a plus because if you didn't know, we'll get into it here later, but I was an indie guy in Texas for a better part of like 4 or 5 years. I was trained by Hot Sauce, Mark Revere, and
Mm-hmm.
Vex. So
And who was the other one?
Sean Vex.
Oh, oh man, what a great guy he was.
He
Rest his soul, man.
was a great trainer, great,
Oh yeah.
you know,
He was so talented. I would go watch him at, I'm friends with Darren Childs and
yeah,
at ACW and watching Sean. That was his home. And I love watching. I was always get excited when I knew Sean was going to wrestle because he was so talented and really enjoyed what he did. Yeah, he had a great trainer, man, for sure. Great training.
just it was easy with them.
Yes.
But that was going to lead into like the the scene in San Antonio during that time. There was so many places. So unfortunately, I didn't get to cross paths with you. I don't feel because I was working. I want to say 2005 ish, about till 2009. But it was mainly in the San Antonio area. It was mainly with Darren and
All
ACW
right.
that I was with. But what what was the most rewarding and your favorite part of being a promoter, especially in that area during that time?
I love going to the towns. I know, later on we kind of settled down into Lytle for the last year when we had our own building and stuff. But I really enjoyed going to the towns, especially when we'd bring somebody like the Honky Tonk Man or D'Lo Brown, or we'd bring somebody they'd see on TV because you bring it to the folks out there that might not get a chance to really see it up close. And so it was personal, number one, to deliver a professional show to them with the lights, the production, and bring solid cards. I mean, God, we had such good talent back then that we go to these towns, and man, the guys just always worked so hard for us. And, so that was the best memories of bringing something. And I know, especially in Carrizo, and the people that I met on the road, I had like we had the Uvalde Street team, when we were promoting in Uvalde. I had the Carrizo connection, and these folks just loved running so much and follow us and helped much with the passing out of the flyers and stuff. So those are probably my favorite times of being on the road and going to the towns and always finding some little kids that would, especially in Carrizo, there'd always be 7 or 8 little kids hanging around. Say, well, we can get him. So my wife wouldn't look and I'd sneak them in. So I wouldn't tell her that. No, I'm just kidding. We'd love to, we made sure anybody wanted to go to the show could go to the show.
Awesome. That's great. And what led? That's what we're leading to. What led from you crossing from promoter to active in-ring competitor?
Well, in 2000, and after I left, there again, I stayed close to some wrestling. I would go to some shows, stay kind of, obviously I made a lot of friends within the wrestling business, from being a promoter all those years and stayed close with a lot of them and would go show some support, guys like Rudy Russo, who's probably one of my best friends. And I would try to go out and support the guys. Well, man, it's just my health continued to decline and I, my weight ballooned to 350 pounds. I couldn't run 8 feet. And even as fun as SCW was, my childhood dream and what I wanted to do was not being a promoter. I saw a need and I wanted to contribute to make it better, but it still didn't quench the thirst I had to live that childhood dream. And so I talked to a previous school and I decided that I would start going to the gym and getting in shape. And I started losing weight. I lost, 80 or 90 pounds. And, and then I started training at the previous school. It was a mutual agreement that I moved on and I wasn't happy where I was going and maybe it just wasn't working out. It just wasn't gelling, no hard feelings. It just happened as a part of it. Really, I wanted to be with Rodney and Jazz anyway. And so I moved to the Dogg Pound and man, they really lifted me up and, I like where I'm at. I'm physically for a 60-year-old guy, I'm in decent shape and, it can really fit into the style of wrestling that I like who I am, as a brawler, I feel like I'm a tough guy, I grew up, on my own at the age of 12 and, I grew up in beer joints and lived behind them. I was homeless or, most of my childhood. So, I just kind of ran the streets and that's where I learned to fight and learn how to survive and learn how to also eventually you do without so long when you have nice things in life, you appreciate them. But So with Rodney and Jazz, this has just been a match made in heaven. They really believe in me. I believe in the training they're giving me. They've taken my character, because I really was able to sit down with them, say, this is who I see me doing. And then Rodney and Jazz says, okay, well, then this is what you got to do. I always remember my first day when I went in there, and I was really intimidated. I was nervous. I did not have any confidence whatsoever. I've never had close to a match at this time, and I had in fact, in that transition, I was almost was going to quit, but I couldn't. So until I talked to them and I told them where I was at. So they threw me in the ring with Micah, and she's phenomenal, right? And then I'm old school, and I said, man, I don't want to wrestle. I'm thinking, I'm trying to be a gentleman about girls, man. I ain't never wrestled. But so, Rodney and Jess give us 7 minutes. Called the match. It was great. I had so much fun, and I said, gosh dang, I ain't too bad at doing this, So it really that started. I'm always thankful to Micah, taking that time, and it was kind, and Rodney and Jazz, and they started developing my character. And then next thing I did a singles. I started doing some single matches, and I will go back a little bit before then too. Is Galactic and what Rudy Russo did for me in Castroville. There was some animosity out there, but the guy stuck by me. And when I say Rudy Russo is probably one of the most guys I respect in this business and as a friend outside this business, because he believed in me. We really had a lot of fun in Castroville last year. And so that also was the pivot to me going to the Dogg Pound. I was ready to go. Folks didn't think I was ready. I think now I have proved where I'm at in this business. Trust me, I learn every day. I still have a long ways to go, and I'm learning. But hey, right now I'm the pound for pound champion, man. What can I say?
Most definitely. And actually, I was going to ask that as well because you mentioned Jazz, Rodney Mack,
I
Dusty.
love them.
I saw him at
I
the.
love them. They are our bond. My bond with Rodney and Jazz. It will go beyond wrestling one day. When you have somebody to believe in you the way they believe in me, it's number one, you want to work your tail off for them. And for them, and if you think about it like this, the pressure that I feel, Rodney and Jazz is not only San Antonio wrestling royalty, they're national. I mean, Jazz is with the NWA. Rodney's think of the accolade. I mean, the last WWF Women's Champion, the first WWE Women's Champion, Rodney Mack, ECW, WWE, and all that. I mean, their reputation in this business is huge. So now they start this wrestling promotion, the Wrestling Dojo, their first title, and it's on the 60-year-old guy.
Yeah.
It's a lot of pressure, man. So I think that shows the faith they have in me, the faith they have in myself to provide what they want to see. And, I've got to continue and work and grow as a wrestler for them. And I'm just in the best place possible. Like I say, Jazz gets it, I mean, this the other night I was sitting down, Jazz and I were sitting there just talking wrestling and talking about strikes. I mean, I sat there literally for an hour and she worked with me on strikes. I'm talking about to me, the best professional wrestler in the world is Jazz.
Yeah.
And I sit there with an hour talking about strikes and throwing strikes and how to deliver them. How great is that, man? I mean, what's the value of that?
Yeah.
So, I mean, yeah, so I love them. And our relationship, regardless, however it goes from here, wherever wrestling takes us and whatever I do and whatever they do, our bond has gone beyond wrestling.
Yeah.
That's how close I am with them.
And
what they mean to me.
For everybody out there who has yet to follow Mr. Hoss Holden on social media, one of the things that he was saying before this interview is that you're ready to talk. You got a lot of things to say. And man, you are answering stuff before I even ask it. And this is so exciting. I was about to put over how I did attend a show and that talent is hot. They're hungry, and for them to build this company and for you to be the face right now. You mentioned earlier you're 60, and the obstacles that you had to go through to get to where you're at, and to be the face. I was asking, like, how does that feel? And I said you just answered it, with the pressure and stuff. But besides the pressure,
it's great, man. Go ahead, sir.
yeah, no, yeah, that's fine. Like I said, besides the pressure, when you like sit back and think about how people are gunning for you right now, in this hot promotion that's getting started, man, how is that?
Whew. Well, it's funny. So it's obviously I was a target, because if you saw the Teddy Long Tag Team Classic and just the talent that's on this roster and the talent that's coming in and the talent, they're selling out the Woodlawn. The Woodlawn is always full when the Dogg Pound goes, 4, 5, 600 people in there, whatever it holds, it's just full. And the talent, and yeah, hey, I know there's guys from New Jersey, and I've already said it. There's guys that's been wrestling every night on the week for every number, for every letters that you can think of, that want to come in and I'll just say, hey, we can beat the 60-year-old guy up. I was happy that my opponent was Mike Dell. I originally was happy that my opponent was Mike Dell because of our history and what I thought was our friendship.
And people can take this however they want because I'm a nobody. But I'm gonna give a small story.
I don't say that, man.
Into my question. I feel for some people going from wrestler to casual fan and stuff, it's a pretty hard transition because you know how things are supposed to work and stuff like that. But I remember attending Dogg Pound and just watching everybody work. Like I said, the basics, fundamentals, crowd involvement, facial expression, stuff like that. So I thoroughly enjoy watching everything they're doing, everything that they're teaching, and people are going to go to the next level here. So like I said, it's a little difficult. Like I said, being a wrestler, transitioning, like I said, to a fan. What was the hardest part of the transition from promoter, doing the total opposite, going into a wrestler? You said you're still learning, but what was the hardest part?
Yeah. Well, obviously, number one, the physicality of it. As a promoter, I think the only time really, I got involved in very little things, but I think, maybe the biggest time is when Showtime hit me in the back of the head with a chair, and that might have been the only time I've ever was touched. But so number one, the physicality, that's been the hardest. But the two is, you think that, okay, man, I promoted and sold wrestling for a long time. I've talked to some of the greatest in the locker room, one-on-one sessions, Lance Cade, D'Lo, Spiro, Claxton, Dell, Dusty Wolf, the knowledge. And so I really thought that I knew what wrestling was. When you step from outside that ring to inside the ring, man, I didn't know anything. It was like, whoa, your footing. It's just a complete making this transition, being in the ring. I've done a lot of things in my life, very difficult things. Some of the biggest things you've ever, on major train wrecks or whatever that I have done in whatever my life, becoming a wrestler inside the ring is by far the hardest thing that I've ever had to do, to be able to get out there and perform with that type of stress. And I know you felt it too. If you were, when you're behind that curtain and it's flapping hard, and you're going, oh man, and you got a lot of people out there, it's pressure. And I've never felt pressure like that. I'm kind of a shy guy, I love shooting the breeze with folks, and I guess that's why we can talk back and forth and I can ramble on. It's an old man thing, I guess. But, that moment is so hard. And then knowing you're going to go in that ring and then you got to perform, and the training in your face and the cameras and the feet and everything. It's the hardest thing I've ever done. It's also personally one of the most rewarding things I've ever done.
Yeah. And it's something else, no matter who it is, where it is, when somebody can come up to you after a show and just, say they enjoyed your work, it's a different feeling. And like I said, you being this late on, a lot of people are looking up to you actually. So, that's gotta feel good And it's
Yeah, I get, it's funny, it's funny when I talk to just folks on the street and they say, man, you're a wrestler. So what, are you like in an older league? Or I said, no, man, it's all comers. There's no leagues in here. I've wrestled kids in their twenties, and Big Caleb, I think he's 21 or 22, and Nate Nasty's in his early 20s, so, some of the kids I've wrestled, and Pac in his 20s, so yeah, it's kind of crazy. So, but yeah, and another thing that, and a lot of folks who know, man, I haven't really specified, and I'm doing this I've got a form of prostate cancer. Now it's dormant, non-aggressive. I've just got to go check it every 90 days. But man, that's always on your head when the doctor says, well, this is what you got. So, I deal with that pressure too, but I don't know why I brought it up. I figured I'd just bring it up to talk and just talking. But yeah, man, the pressure of it all, that just adds to it at times, I guess.
yeah, and that's a lot.
It is a lot.
You're making it look easy, and you got the look, big husky gentleman. Like when you said you were a barroom brawler, things like that. You bring that kind of style inside the ring. You're not someone who visually you want to mess with, but there's somebody coming after that championship title that you are having a part 2 with, and that is that one man, Mike Dell, who we just had on. And I'll go with some of the things that he was saying. We'll see some responses, but these are some what ifs. All right, so what ifs. Come February 26th, Hoss Holden, if he loses the title, are we going for a straight rematch, or are you trying to work with some of the younger talent?
And man, I number one, I don't see me losing this title. I can't go into thinking, but I'm gonna do a what if for you in a minute. But I mean, because I don't know, I've never lost a title before. I've lost a lot of things. As you get older in life, you lose things and people and I mean, you've been around, you're gonna lose things. And I know how they felt. I don't know exactly if I lost this pound for pound title because I never lost it before. I've never lost something as meaningful. I mean, this title represents the Dogg Pound and Jazz and Rodney and everything and what it means to me. So, man, if I lost this title, obviously I'd want my shot back at it because, man, and yeah, obviously if I did, I would ask for a rematch. Now, would that be granted or not? I'm not in control of anything past that. The only thing I'm in control of is how I perform in the ring on the 26th.
Yeah.
And I plan on keeping it. So hopefully that doesn't happen.
So now the next what if. You beat Mike Dell a second time, here at Dogg Pound Championship Wrestling, and say he wants to come back to you. You granting it if it's up to you, or you're letting somebody else get their shot at you?
I stay out of the promoting business now. I'm really focusing on my wrestling. I mean, if the company thought that was the right path to take, who am I? So, but let me say, if it's, I'll go back to our first match with Mike Dell. Mm-hmm. Me and Mike, we go back he was really the face of SCW for years. I mean, we had a heavyweight belt, we had tag belts, and we had an open division title, which was my favorite title. And, he had at one time, he was our heavyweight champion. He was our tag champion and our open division champion. One time he had 3 belts. But through the 8 years of SCW, I don't think there was ever a time he wasn't wearing one of our belts and representing our company. Mm-hmm. I didn't always agree with the way he did things, but I respected for how good of a wrestler he was. And he's held belts everywhere. Hurricane, Lions Pride. I mean, you name the RCW, you name the promotion, the man's been on top. So that, I love challenge, and I was excited for the challenge. I knew what I was up against. I mean, I've probably seen more Mike Dell matches than anybody has because He did over 100 for us at SCW. So, and I saw every one. So stepping into the ring, I was really, really excited for it. I know I was somewhat unconscious when he hit me with a DDT. It kind of woke me up a little bit when he hit me with his elbow. I knew I was unable, I wasn't going to be able to do a whole lot of moving. I couldn't breathe. I knew I had to get to a rope, and, you know, just that's all I could think of at the time. And, was able to, you know, and some people say I backed my way into it with the tide on my leg, getting over the rope. And then, but when I hit him with the claw and I had him, the cheap shot, you know, that pretty much of all of we've been through together, of everything we've done, and how much I was looking forward to wrestling, man, that just kind of pooed on everything right there. And so I didn't demand, I requested, please, I can't, you know, look, I won the title in a battle royal or a gauntlet match. I won it on, I kept it on, my first title event was a disqualification against still one of the best wrestlers out there. I'm a very proud man. And so when I went to the company, I said, we got to fix this. I'm going to come in with not the respect I had for him as I did at that first match. I'm going to come at him pretty hard. You know, I'm not very happy about that. And this title is very important to me. I felt like he really disrespected me. I expect a lot more out of him than that. Hey, I hit you with what I have. I had him, and, you know, he cheap shot. So I would expect that from other people in this business and not him. So basically, I'm not coming to wrestle. I'm coming to fight.
Yeah.
I'm angry.
So
I'm a 275-pound angry outlaw.
Mike Dell did mention he was a champ for it, and he did mention that there was some respect there. But one of the things that he was saying is that he's taking the title. Also, didn't see himself losing this one. So you've done a couple other interviews or some hype videos, if you will, showing that you have seen a lot of Mike Dell matches. You said that you know what to expect from him. One of the things that he doesn't know what to expect from you. So without any spoilers, giving anything away, would it be too easy for you to come in angry, brawling, or are you trying to keep it low to where he still doesn't know what's coming to kind of give you the upper hand?
You know, this might be my downfall. Or my feelings, I'm angry.
Okay.
I don't plan on doing a whole lot of wrestling. I plan on getting after it. I plan on swinging and romp. You know, my whole motto has been romping and stomping. That's what I plan on doing. I don't know if I'm going to work it. I don't know now. Maybe I gut punch him a bunch and go to stomping on his midsection, or maybe I just start punching him in the face. Maybe I hit him with some lariat clotheslines. Maybe I take him outside and beat the crap out of him out there.
Mm-hmm.
I will say this about Mike Dell, and, you know, I like, look, man, I'm a little crazy. I like pain. I mean, I don't go around wanting it all the time, but when I get hit, it makes me smile a little bit because, yeah, it hurts. It all hurts, but, man, you know, that's how I grew up in the bars. You know, man, I've been hit with pool sticks, beer mugs, iron fist, some of the toughest men on the east side of Fort Worth, man, I grew up fighting as a kid. So, but I will say this about Mike Dell. Folks he's a phenomenal wrestler. There's no question. But I don't think people really appreciate how tough the guy really is. He's a legit tough guy. I know it firsthand. I've seen it firsthand. So I think he's hungry for this belt. You know, it's Mike Dell wins titles. I have my work cut out for me. All I know is I'm going to step in there. All I think about is the low blow, and it just angers the crud out of me. And I promise you, it's just going to be, I'm coming at him hard, and whatever I've got to do. And I get this from a lot of the wrestlers in the back after a match or training. The one thing they always say, man, I cannot believe how strong you are. You know, the strength that I have for an old guy. I mean, you know, but man, I spent a lot of time in the weight room and a lot of cardio time. When I put my claw on him, and as my tribute move to David, but it's something that's very personal to me. They really don't, when they feel it, they said, man, they have not felt nothing like, and I do 100 squeezes a day on a ball with that thing. And I think when I hit him, I think it caught him surprised, and that was the only way he could get out with a cheap shot. So I don't know if I'll give him a claw this time. If he's down, if the opportunity he gets, that's my ultimate goal, to always hit the claw. But he cheap shotted me last time, so I'll have to, I might do some. I've got some other tricks in my sleeve too. I'm not going to tell you. I'm basically coming to fight.
Nice.
And that's it.
And I'm not trying to put words in your mouth. I'm just getting
No.
the notion of things. So what were you saying? Saturday, February 26th, cold-blooded, Dogg Pound Championship Wrestling, pound for pound championship. You respect Mike Dell, but he's not winning. That's what we're getting. That's what we got for you.
I respect for what he has done for me over the years. I've lost a lot of respect from him from the last show, and for the cheap shot he gave me. I mean, we had a lot of eyes on us in that match. You think about it, we got Teddy Long there. The wrestling world eyes are on the Dogg Pound. I'm talking about folks all over the world that matter in this business are watching. This thing is being recorded for the TSW network, and it goes to a lot of eyes and a lot of important people in this business. And in a sense, I was made a fool of. And for him doing that, I respect for what he's done to me in the past. The respect wall's down right now because we've got something to settle.
And
that's being honest. That's being straight.
And I kind of feel where you're coming from, because like you said, there are a lot of eyes, not only for the product because it is growing, and like you said, they will be on TSW Plus, your shows stream on that, and you were talking about the names, Jazz and Rodney, could just pull a lot of eyes to the product. 'Cause everyone's like, what are they doing out there? And people would be thoroughly impressed, like I said, with the overall show, and to have a finish like that. Like I said, I know exactly where you're coming from, so I'm excited. I'm sure everyone out there is excited. So, final prediction on that. Like I said, I'm gonna plug it one more time. Cold-blooded Dogg Pound Championship Wrestling, February 26th, pound for pound championship match. House Holden versus one man Mike Dell, Part 2. Who's coming out the champ?
I am. I have no doubt in my mind I will walk out with my second title defense. Legit win. Hand raised in the air. Him laying on the ground.
And there we have it. House Holden prediction. He is walking out with that already prestigious pound for pound championship. So I'll get ready to take us home, if you will. So my last question, it was from one of our fans at Dogg Pound Championship Wrestling. So I'm just going to throw in a couple of things here. You mentioned, because a random fun fact was, the squeezes. You've mentioned before, drink buttermilk?
Oh, yeah. Cornbread and buttermilk, baby.
Cornbread, buttermilk. What is a random?
And a Lone Star. Lone Star's my pre-workout. Post-workout is buttermilk and cornbread.
There we have it. Besides all that, what is another random fun fact that we might not know about House Holden?
Sorry about that. I love fishing. I did a lot of bass tournament fishing over the years.
Wow.
Competitive bass fishing and things like that. And I do love it. I got a bass boat. I don't fish. I haven't been this year none. I only went one time last year.
Wow.
I've really been focused. But fun fact is, I love bass fishing and I love tournament bass fishing. And there will be a time when I get to go back to that because I've got some goals there too. But right now my focus is this.
I would love later on in life get into the art of fishing. I'm not good at it at all whatsoever.
Hey man, when you're ready, man, I tell you, I can read the water and I love fishing the depths and following the patterns, and yeah, it's just, I love it. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, and
I love teaching it too.
Well, also, I say I'm in New Orleans, so I'll try to go out, with the boys, and then we see alligators. So I'm like, nope, I'm out of here.
You might not want to go to Choke Canyon with me then, because some of the alligators swim by the boat I've got a 20-foot boat, and they side by side, but they just as big. So, but they just smile at you.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a weird phobia of mine. I just see it. I'm like, no, not happening. But ladies and gentlemen, um,
Another fishing I started doing in the Medina River. You know, I do a lot of my promos. I love going down. I live out in Castroville. I love being down on the river, and I've been doing a little grappling fishing, kind of reaching around in the roots and looking for catfish with my hands. And I'm actually going to be taping a segment on that next month, going into our, because I know the Dogg Pound's coming to Castroville the 25th. You know, the Dogg Pound is going to be, Galactic has decided to step aside for a while, and Dogg Pound is going to be running Castroville now, and that's going to be Friday the 25th. So, you know, so I've got some, I'm going to kind of introduce this whole way of I live to hopefully a new audience, you know, of doing some of that type of fishing.
yeah. And there goes more of stuff that we don't know about yet. You know, we don't know a lot, and it's coming out, and maybe later on.
Hey, pretty much what I am is who I am. I'm a country boy. I love the country. I love being out in the woods. I like walking and I love being in the Medina River. I like being out on the water. I like being out in the woods. You know, I like drinking buttermilk and drinking a few cold beers. I like chopping wood. You know, whatever I can do out there. You know, I like sitting at night and watch all the critters come out at nighttime and watch them do their thing at night, and you know, watch the stars at night. It's just, that's who I am. That's who I am in the day and the night. I don't have to be a character in wrestling.
Yeah.
Who I am is who I am, and that's just what I bring.
And that's pretty rare, and that's, I guess, a very rewarding thing too. So you don't have to be anybody else in there, and uh, it it's crazy that you yourself can just walk into a ring and be intimidating and like, damn, I don't want to. I don't want to work with that guy. It's like it act a little bit. So that's got to be rewarding.
But if you think of the old school of wrestling, okay, and go back to the what they call the glory, think about all the guys, the Mulligans and Terry Taylors and all these guys. Their character is all you saw in the ring and on TV, but they lived it outside too. You know, there may have been times when they could, you know, in their homes with their families or whatever, but if they were away from the ring event, if Mulligan was Mulligan, you know, the Von Erich boys were the Von Erich boys. Chris Adams, they were. I'm blessed to be able to do that as well, because I do proclaim an old school type, you know, with my age, the era that I really, I still study, you know, when I do my film study, I study that era very hard because I think it was what I try to accomplish. And I think me being able to be who I am as my character, same guy, I can be on social media. Like I say, I don't do a lot of Twitter. I don't do a lot of, I got one of my grandkids got me a Snapchat. I think that's what he called it. Anyway, so I finally learned how to post a picture on it. You know, now the rest of it, they got he set me up a TikTok thing.
Okay.
You know, I've got 12 grandkids, so I'm lucky that, you know, they're all computers. Well, the little ones ain't, but the other ones are pretty computers. So they're going to help me out. They're my computer staff, I guess.
Oh, well, there we go. And before we let you go, just so y'all know, y'all heard it.
Right.
Hoss Holden, he is trying to learn some of that other stuff, but he is on Facebook at Don Hoss Holden. So if you guys want to look at his stuff, like I said, he's got the.
I got that one down, man. I got the Facebook. I'm down with the Facebook deal. I got that one down.
There we go. So everybody, you're not going to want to miss this one. It is Hoss Holden, Mike Dell, part 2 here at Dogg Pound Championship Wrestling, Saturday, February 26th. We already have both predictions in. They're both wanting to leave the champ.
Hey, you mean Mike Dell didn't say I was going to win?
He did not.
Mike Dell predicted that he was going to win?
He said, like I said, I'm not stirring the pot. I'm just trying
Come on now.
Here. Yeah, Mike Dell, he said he's leaving. He's leaving as the champion, and he doesn't see himself losing. That's it's going to be a great match. Like I said, the passion of both you guys, the anger in you. Like I said, you got more to lose in this one than Mike.
A lot to lose, man. A lot on the line, brother.
A lot, and you never know, man. I don't know what Dogg Pound would.
Well, and it's scary because I don't know this. You know, this title has kind of identified me as the pound for pound. I don't know what I don't want to lose my ID either, of what would happen, and all those thoughts I don't let them enter my mind, but wow, it's freaky.
It'll be like
But no, we'll be ready. Come February 26th, my friend, we're going to be ready.
It'll be like Michael Jordan when he gets his talent taken from the basketball in Space Jam, right? He gets the title taken away. So, okay.
Yeah.
But Mr. Haas, I really appreciate you being on, man. And
hey, man, I want to take the time to thank you for promoting and pushing all professional wrestling. It's just, this Dogg Pound, I know you help so many other promotions and you get the word out. It really independent professional wrestling needs what you do to help spread the word. Because, there's still so many fans out here that don't really know that independent wrestling exists or don't really know a lot about it. So, to me, you guys that do the interviews that know the business and help push it out there, to expand. I'm very thankful for what you guys do, very much so. And I want to thank you for doing that. And, us all working together to spread the word to make independent wrestling better than ever.
And thank you. Thank you for that. And I'll close with congratulations on all your success right now. You're hot. You're a top face. You're a champion. Like I said, you've overcome a lot of things. We appreciate all that you do. And, man, best of luck in the foregoing future.
Thank you so much, man. Thank you for having me. God bless you. God bless the fans. I'll see everybody February 26th, and I will walk out the pound for pound champion.
At the historic Woodlawn Gym. Pound for pound champion.
That's it.
Take care.
Thank you, man.